HowExpert! Top 10 guitar jamming tips. HowExpert publishes quick how-to guides on all topics from A to Z by everyday experts. Visit HowExpert.com to learn more. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more HowExpert Top 10 videos in the future. Moving on, let's talk about the HowExpert Top 10 guitar jamming tips. Number 10, take time to warm up and be patient. A typical jam session for my friends and me lasts 3 or more hours. The first hour is always garbage. Respect the process. It takes time to get in the zone. Even if you've warmed up your hands before you started playing, you need to take some time to feel out the vibe between you and your fellow jammers. Think of it as warming up your mind and be patient. Only then, with a relaxed mind, can you begin to connect together as musicians and create something beautiful. Number 9, be confident and take risks. It's not what you play, it's how you play it. Great improvisers aren't afraid to make mistakes, and they don't get stuck on mistakes when they've made. They trust their gut and fearlessly follow where the music leads them. Failure is part of the process, and it's a sign that you're actually trying. Even if it's rough around the edges sometimes, taking risks and pushing yourself will always sound better than timidly sticking to what you know. There's no such thing as right notes and wrong notes. There are just notes that are in the scale and notes that aren't. And with the right approach, all of them can sound good. When improvising, you're free to make new choices and to transcend your old habits. Use this to your advantage and discover new possibilities by taking risks. Number 8, groove with the rhythm. Picking good notes is just one part of jamming, and you could argue it's not even the most important part. You could play the most beautiful notes and phrases in the world, but if your rhythm is off, your choices will fall flat. Practice with a metronome, and when you're jamming with others, feel the beat of the groove. What you play is never by itself. It's always in the context of the jam. Give yourself to the groove, and what you play will fit naturally into that context, making it sound good. You can take this a step further by moving your body with the beat while you're playing. Number 7, be dynamic. The most common problem I see with inexperienced bands is that they only have one volume, loud. It's easy to play loud, it's exciting, and mistakes come out in the wash. But if it's your only volume, it actually becomes boring. Having a good dynamic range, being able to play both loud and soft, brings out the music's greatest intricacies. It keeps it interesting, and if you have an audience, it keeps them engaged. Nothing captures attention better than a sudden change in dynamic. Besides volume, you can explore variations in speed, space, key, or feel, to name just a few. Number 6, know your stuff. The technique can come in a variety of forms, and everyone has strengths and weaknesses. Whether you're a really great soloist, rhythm player, music theory expert, or you have the golden touch on your instrument, you're ultimately responsible for the mastery of your craft. To maximize your creativity, you need some proficiency in all aspects of your instrument. The better you get, the more versatility you'll have to create interesting ideas. Number 5, think outside the box. Jamming traces its roots back to blues. Musicians would improvise over the same minor pentatonic scale and the same 12-bar progression. But after a while, that gets boring if you don't mix it up. Blues music is actually quite intricate because musicians thought outside the box in the field that they approached the instrument with. And it gave rise to jazz when artists started pushing harmonic structure to its limits. When improvising, the possibilities are endless. Use this to your advantage, and don't just play the same 5 notes all the time. Number 4, compliment others. It's easy to think that whoever's playing lead gets all the glory, and often what they do is very important and impressively challenging. However, the far more important job is usually coming from the band behind the soloist. The band makes or breaks the solo. If you compliment the solo well, it'll sound great. If you compliment it poorly, it'll sound terrible. Just because you're not currently soloing doesn't mean you're off the hook. Jamming is meant to be engaging at all times. And by the way, if you're playing the lead, don't see it as a free pass to ignore everything your band is doing behind you. Work with them. They're a fantastic source of inspiration and creativity. Number 3, give it everything you've got. Often, the quality of music you play comes down to how engaged you are in the moment. If you're bored or not feeling challenged enough, the music you play will reflect that. Even if you're playing with musicians who aren't as skilled as you are, push yourself to your limits and challenge yourself to take risks. Only then can you discover new ideas and possibilities. You'll also help less skilled players realize what's possible, and they'll feel respected when you treat them the same as a more experienced player. We all start somewhere. Love the process, and remember that everyone is continually learning, including you. Number 2, with great freedom comes great responsibility. I don't mean that anyone is going to criticize you for making mistakes, but remember, you're contributing to something bigger than yourself. The music is not about any one of the musicians, but all of them together. Like any teamwork, music requires you to give your full effort, not to make yourself look good, but to make the music sound good. Approach complimenting with the same enthusiasm as you approach your solos. Share your voice, no matter how skilled or unskilled you are. And number 1, listen. Here's a little secret that improvising masters know that novices don't. Good improv comes down to what you can hear, not what you can play. After all, what you play is derived from what you hear. You get ideas by listening, both to yourself and especially to your fellow jammers. By listening, you begin to hear the endless possibilities that you can create in the moment. Even if someone makes a mistake, you can use it to your advantage by pushing the music in a new, unexpected, or unconventional direction inspired by the wrong note. Always remember, the goal of jamming is not to create wonderful music. That's a result that naturally happens along the way, but it's not the goal. The goal is to experience and translate the beauty of the moment. And that can only happen when you learn to listen. If you liked our video, be sure to click like and subscribe for more HowExpert Top 10 videos for all topics from A to Z in the future. Also, let us know what other topics you want us to do a HowExpert Top 10 video in the future in the comments below. Thank you, have an amazing day, and take care. HowExpert publishes quick how-to guides on all topics from A to Z by everyday experts. Visit HowExpert.com to learn more.